Oh my gosh, you guys, I am with the wonderful Joel Salatin and Dr. Sina McCullough. You might know them from the Beyond Labels podcast. We are going to be co-hosting a summit this summer in about 6 weeks. It's June 14th and 15th, and it's the 2 Days of Truth Beyond Labels sponsored summit, which I'm really excited to be a part of. And because I'm emceeing, I'm going to start our little conversation today asking them questions about detoxification, because that is the focus of the conversation. Sina, let's start with you. Talk to us about our understanding about detoxing. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, detoxing. I know all about it. Do we know all about it?
That's an excellent question, Hilda. And, I'm going to say this is an easy answer. No, most of us do not know how to properly detox. I myself had to learn that through my own healing journey, my own challenge with an autoimmune condition. But so here's the thing. In the health and wellness space, we hear a lot about decrease your toxic load, right? And this is to help the body detox. Like this is like the latest buzzword, decrease your toxic load. So we hear a lot about things like consuming an anti-inflammatory diet to detox to decrease your toxic load, eating clean food, drinking clean water, mitigating your exposure to EMFs, tracking your sleep-wake cycle. And those are all great things, and they will decrease your toxic load or your toxic burden. But one thing that we really don't talk about much, and that is actually a somewhat of a challenging process to implement, is to decrease the toxic burden that already exists within your body. And we need to actually do this if we want to reverse chronic or autoimmune disease. Hilda, you and I have talked about this before. A primary component of reversing any type of health condition is actually to detoxify your body. And that could be whether it's cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Hashimoto's, Lyme disease, psoriasis, seasonal allergies. These things are all related to a need to detox the current exposure to these chemicals that are inside your body. If you want to lose weight, if you want to decrease your anxiety, or stop having depression, improve your sleep, boost your energy, get rid of that bloating that you might experience after you're eating, or maybe if you have brain fog, all of these conditions are indicating that you have a high toxic load in the body. Now, there are different categories of toxic loads. And this is one reason why it becomes a little bit complicated, and you often need someone to help you walk through the process of how to rid your body of its current load. And that's because we can have physical toxins, which a lot of us are familiar with, glyphosate, antibiotic residues, heavy metals, mycotoxins. Hilda, did you know that a lot of peanut butters can contain mycotoxins? I mean, in peanut
Oh
butter.
no, it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. I love peanut butter, I have to say. And I avoid it because of some of the things you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, and we're seeing it in our foods. Wheat and
Yeah.
oats not only can contain glyphosate, but now we got to worry about chlormequat, right? That the newest pesticide that can lead to
Mhm.
reproductive and developmental issues. General Mills loaded cereal was just tested by moms across America. It contains heavy metals as well as several different types of pesticides. Rice can contain arsenic, chocolate, cassava. These things are all showing up to contain heavy metals. So we have these in our foods. We have these in our drinking waters. Hilda, there's even been shown to be arsenic and prescription drug residues in drinking water. So we
Wait,
have
wait. Are you saying this, Sina, just to scare us?
no, I'm saying this because my passion is to help people restore their health and vitality, right? And this is a lot through my own journey, through my family's journey. We got sick. My husband had lupus. My son had Lyme disease and autism. I had an autoimmune condition. I had rheumatoid arthritis that was debilitating in my 30s. I had arsenic poisoning. We all had leaky gut. I
Oh,
actually was sufficiently I was so deficient in micronutrients, even though I was taking a multivitamin every single day, that I was
mm.
borderline for beriberi and pellagra. These are micronutrient deficiency diseases that were eradicated in the US by the mid 1900s. And we are now seeing a resurgence of these diseases. And this is in large part because of the toxic burden that we are exposed to every day from these chemicals that we've talked about here in the food, in the water, in the air. The National Institute of Health published a study in 2022 where they concluded that high levels of particulates in the air pollution, is directly contributing to breast cancer. And in that study, they said that everybody is exposed to these high levels of pollutants. So we have that.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is, even if we eat organic, have a little water purifier, do these different things, it is quite likely that in our organs, in our bodies, there are toxins that we need to offload. So it's not just a matter of avoiding certain things, which most of us are trying to do now, right? But of getting rid of what's already accumulated in the body.
That's exactly right. And so this is one thing that I've helped people with in trying to give people their second chance, like God gave me a second chance. And that's my goal, is to help other people find their second chance so they can live out their life with, full of energy and vibrancy, and not be physically or emotionally or mentally limited because their bodies are experiencing these toxins. So toxins accumulate in the body. The body is very good at trying to move them away from your brain and your vital organs in order to help you to survive. And so it will store these toxins into like fat cells, for instance. Also, we're learning that things like what we call infections, some people who may not believe in infections, we might call those overgrowths, right? So you might have some pathogens, some more microorganisms that overgrow and they become pathogenic. And one reason why that is because some of these organisms can actually store heavy metals and mycotoxins in them. So you could actually, go ahead.
Sorry, I get excited, but I'm also curious. So for example, when people say, oh, I have toe fungus, or, I think I have a candida overgrowth, I'm always craving sugar, we kind of can be dismissive of it, but you're saying it's actually quite serious.
It is actually quite serious because the body needs to be in balance. We've all heard of homeostasis. The body works well when it is in balance. And when you have like an overgrowth, even if it looks just as, as simple as fungus on the toenail, that is indicative of a systemic imbalance. And so it's not something that you just want to put some topical cream on that and think that you're going to be okay, right? It's telling you that there's some systemic imbalance. Look, the body will naturally detox itself, right? This is how God designed us. We have multiple detox pathways within the body. What happens is you need to have proper flow in the body. You need airflow, blood flow, digestive flow, lymphatic flow, and urinary flow. You need these to all be flowing in order for the body to be able to naturally detox, right? If even one of those areas isn't flowing, your detox ability will decrease. And so these toxins will start accumulating in the body. Now, if you provoke it to detox, then it will start to detox, but the body doesn't want to do it that way. The body wants to detox naturally, the way the God designed it to. So it's really important. Like you'll hear a lot of people talking about die-off symptoms, detox symptoms, right? They'll do like parasite cleanses or heavy metal cleanses, chelation protocols, and they'll have these massive detox symptoms. And you don't actually have to go through that. If you are going through that, it means the body's fighting you, right? It's not going with the natural flow of the body. So there is actually a way to detox the body where you won't even really notice that the body is detoxing necessarily, because there's a gentle way to do it. And this is the way to bring the body back into a natural balance where it will clear out all of these diseases that we're talking about, from the toe fungus to high blood pressure to arthritis to cancer. All of them will clear out of the body when you bring it back into balance. And you need to do that by allowing the body to detox itself naturally.
Oh my gosh. Well, it is so clear that you have done so much research. And what's so lovely about our upcoming summit is it's not just you or Joel or me, but it's Sayer G from GreenMed Info. It's Dr. Leland Stillman from Stillman Integrative Medicine in Florida, and also Mary Ruddick, who is an ancestral nutritionist. So we're all going to come at this in different ways so that people can walk away from the summit with their own personalized detox plan that will collaborate with the body and not fight it in terms of helping it to release the toxins. I can't wait to hear more, but I also want to hear from Joel. So Joel, tell us a little bit about how you see detoxification.
So I'm going to take a little different approach on this, or whatever complementary approach, if you will. And I'm going to do something I've never done before. And being a Luddite, this is really stepping way past my comfort zone. But I have people, Hilda, who routinely call me, and they say, how do I know that the food I'm getting is right, is the right stuff. And so I'm going to do one on how to sleuth a website to determine if the outfit is right or not. One of the biggest toxins, I think, toxins in our society is organizations that try to brand themselves better than they are. What I say, the toxicity of talking better than you're walking. And we call this sometimes greenwashing, different things. And so what I have done as I've tried to shepherd these people through is I've been amazed how, if you're really awake and looking, it's amazing how reflective a website can be of its true what's behind the curtain there. And so
in other words, they can't hide everything because the truth kind of makes its way out.
That's right. It does. 99% of the time, the truth does make its way out. But you have to be discerning. You have to be watching for it. You have to be looking for it. The other thing that I'm going to do, which we started a couple of years ago, I'm doing a morning devotional as well. And that devotional is going to be dedicated to forgiveness versus vengeance. One of the most toxic things in our lives is when we hold on to grudges and we dwell on resentment of people who have wronged us. Look, we've all been done wrong. We've all been, abused. I don't mean physically abused. I mean we've been emotionally or
mentally.
encountered these things. Yeah. And so I'm gonna deal with the forgiveness aspect to try to bring that toxicity out of your kind of spiritual, mental, emotional state.
And I'm so excited about that because the only way to enjoy vibrant, good health is to release the poison of unforgiveness. I think that spiritual, emotional, mental piece is so critical. And I'm going to tell you something. I was recently at the Salt and Light Chiropractic Institute that's in Springfield, Virginia, and they are going to be vendors at our event, actually. And they had a practitioner walk me through a kind of spiritual detox. It was so powerful. And this woman had me do something that's called Splankna, which to me sounds like a Russian satellite. But anyway, the practice is called Splankna, which also sounds like spelunking, which is something else having to do with caves. But anyway, I digress. The point is, he had me look back a little bit to my ancestry and what, for lack of a better way of saying it, what besetting sins, what issues my grandmother or my great grandmother have been dealing with that have been unwittingly passed down. The Bible says that sins, or you can call it trauma, whatever you want, these patterns of behavior are passed down from generation to generation. And so as she kind of did some muscle testing with me and different things, I found tremendous release. And so I'm going to offer a tool right now as a little preview of some of the things that will be available at this summit. She offered me an exercise. She said, put out your pinky. And you guys don't have to do this with me right now, but you can if you want to. Put out your pinky and think about, it can be even something in the past 24 hours that you need to release or forgive someone of. So let me think. It could take a while, but anyway, so you might need to do this on your own. But anyway, she had me think of something I needed to forgive someone of in my family line, actually. Okay, in my family line. And then she had me tap my pinky with my index finger and repeat several times like, I forgive this person for not giving me a safe place. I forgive this person for not creating a safe place. I forgive this person for not creating a safe space in my home. And then you kind of push enter and tap 3 times on the back of the palm of your hand. And you might think, okay, Hilda, that's a little exercise. It doesn't mean much, you know. I'm telling you, I was exhausted after our session. And I thought, you know, something spiritual, something emotional did take place here. And it was beautiful to have someone walk me through it. And now I feel that somehow I might have loosened the chains, if not broken them all together, that could be holding my family, my children, my grandchildren in some sorts of bondage. So anyway, not to get too into all this, but I'm just trying to say, as you all have alluded, we have a spiritual and a mental and an emotional and a physical detoxification process that is rather complex. And if this little pinky thing didn't mean anything to you, that's okay, because we're going to be talking about physical detoxing things you can do that you might not have thought of at the summit, in addition to the elements that you all have brought into play, the ways in which we can release toxins from the body that have been stored for a while, and the ways in which to avoid getting them in there in the first place. So I'm very excited. And one thing I'm going to talk about that I haven't even mentioned here is simple ancestral practices of detoxification. And I love these because they're mostly free. And I will end with this. One is actually sleep. And it is the one area that many of us shortchange ourselves on. And I will be the first to raise my hand that once the kids are asleep and let's say the cows are in their little area for you, Joel, you know, once all that's done, you just want to like, sometimes you do want to just, you know, hang up your hat and go to sleep, but sometimes you're like, oh, I just need to do one more email. You know, something will come to your mind. Oh, I can do it right now. Well, guess what? The best thing you can do is put it off to the morning. And here's why. Because sleep is so important as a detoxing practice that your body actually takes out the cellular trash. And we overlook it because it's not a green smoothie and it doesn't cost $1,000 to do it. So we're like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. If you don't sleep now, you will die sooner. So you can either do it now or do it sooner by dying. But I would suggest doing it now. And there are many stories I can tell, but I will share more at the summit. You guys, thank you for your time. I'm so excited to partner with you. This summit is going to be phenomenal. Anything else we should mention, Sina? I know you've got something new up your sleeve.
Joe, go first.
I want to just say this quickly. I know that you mentioned, I think that you mentioned, you know, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. I would suggest there's also cultural toxification. We are in a time of cultural toxicity, and it revolves around lying. We hear it from government officials, we hear it from the media, we hear it from people who are supposedly supposed to guide us and help us to make good decisions. And this summit, we may not have all the truth. We don't begin to think we have, but we are searching. We are pursuing the truth. That's why it's called the 2 days of truth. We're going to come together at this summit to all focus on truly, without agendas, without, you know, money involved, without seeking truth. And that in and of itself can become a life cultural detoxifier.
That is such a good word. Thank you for saying that. I got chills just now because one of the beautiful ways in which we'll detox is literally leaving our computers and all of those agendas and all of those lies behind that are coming at us from right and left. And we're going to be in that space where we can make space to hear the truth and discover it together. Thank you for that, Joel. What about you, Sina? What did you want to add?
I just want to give a quick plug that this year, for the first time, we are offering a kids and teens club. I'm so excited about it. So the adults can go off and do the adult stuff, listen to the speakers, and the kids can come over with us and have a great time. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to also sprinkle in some learning along the way. We're going to have lots of fun, and we're going to inspire a love for learning and a love for curiosity and for nature. And we have great people who are going to be leading the kids club. It's actually the 3 of us. So it's Hilda, Joel, and myself. Yeah, so we're going to be doing some fun stuff. Hilda's going to be doing a forgiveness practice with the kids, and she's also going to be leading them in music. Joel's going to be leading them on a farm tour that's just for the kids, and he's going to do a storytelling session. I mean, who would really pass up a time to be with Joel and hear his stories? He's a marvelous storyteller. Kids love him. And I'm going to be doing a few things myself. I'm going to be foraging with the kids on polyphase property, in the fertile fields of polyphase. And I'm going to be teaching them how to read food labels. So we're going to have lots of fun and sprinkle in the education component. It is filling up fast though, right? So
Yes.
we're about to cap the kids program, but there's still a few spots left.
Good, good. All right. Well, so I am more hyped than ever. I can't wait for people to join us. And speaking of things filling up fast, June 1st is the deadline for the early bird ticket pricing. So get your tickets now while you can. Get them while they're hot for Mother's Day or Father's Day. Come to Polyface and join us. Love you all and thank you. I will see you there.